So if any of you guys have watched some of my recent videos or saw where we took this thing off-road in the past many times, you've seen we've ran into quite a few different issues. So today, not only are we going to be fixing some of the damage that we caused on the last trip, we're also going to be fixing up something that I've wanted to do for a while with the stock bumper. We're actually going to be using the Openroad 13,000 pound winch, and we're also going to be using the rough country winch plate that's going to work with our factory Rubicon bumper. So as many of you guys know, with the Rubicon 392s, they all come equipped with this steel bumper. And it's pretty straightforward to go ahead and add a winch as well as a winch plate. That way you've got the best opportunity for any self-recovery situation you're ever going to run into. Now before you even get started, you will want to unplug your factory fog lights as well as any accessory lights you've added. You'll see right here, that is for your factory fog lights. You'll unplug those, and then for any of your aftermarket lights, you can just simply unplug those as well. Then you want to remove this factory trim piece right here, because we won't need to be reusing this. And we'll throw this in the pile of Jeep parts that we'll never use again. And while we're at it, we're gonna go ahead and remove this plate right here. That's basically where the winch is gonna be sticking out. So you can go ahead and remove it and reinstall the screws. That way you don't have to do it while it's on the ground. And all of these are gonna be 1/2 inch. You also have some torque bits down here, but you don't have to worry about those. So these are gonna be 1/2 inch. And it gives you a good opportunity to clean your skid plate out. Now that we've got past that, the next step's pretty straightforward. You guys will see these bolts right here. You've got 2 on the inside, 2 on the outside on both sides. And all that we really need to do is just loosen these up. We will be removing this bracket right here later, but not quite yet. So all I'm gonna do is loosen up the inside first, loosen up the outside, take it off, and then we'll have the entire front bumper off. So now that the front bumper's off, we can go ahead and start working on installing that mounting plate. Now I did order the rough country one, and you can see everything it comes with right there. And it's a pretty straightforward install from what I can tell. And for these bolts, they are 5/8, so I'm just gonna use the impact on these. So I opened up the box that is supposed to have the bumper plate that goes over our factory bumper, and it had this in it. I don't even know what this is, but it's not the right piece. Yeah, that's you. So I guess we'll go ahead and install this anyway and see how it goes. And now that we've got it lined up, we'll just use our factory bolts. And a huge shout out to Openroad for sending this out for me to test out. If you guys want any of this stuff in the video, check down in the description down below. I'll have links to all of it. That way you can find exactly what you need. And I'm pretty excited to test this winch out. It's rated for 13,000 pounds. It's wireless, but I'm going to show you all about it. So right off, it is packaged extremely well so far. Right here we've got some instructions, and we've got our cable lead, got the handle for the winch, got some wiring, got our hook, and some hardware right there. Even got a hat in there. Then we have our wireless remote. We've got our corded remote. Got another wireless remote. And then we've got our fairlead. And for our winch itself, it's already pre-spooled, so I'm gonna go ahead and sit it on the plate. So as you guys can see, it's pretty much already set up out of the box. It's pre-spooled, it's already got our tether on there too, that way we don't mess anything up. You can see it's 13,000 pound winch, and of course, like I already showed you, we do have our wireless remote as well as corded remote too, but it's pretty well set up. Now I'm just gonna line it up and make sure that it fits on this rough country mount. Now the power box came already installed, so what I wanted to do is go ahead and tighten up all these connections on the back side. While I had it off, I wanted to go ahead and get the ground connected, which connects down here on the bottom as well. So I went ahead and did that, and I'm gonna tighten these up right here. To stay on the safe side, I'm gonna go ahead and take off the power box. That way I can make sure everything inside is already cinched down the way it should be. I don't wanna get it all on and then have to take it all the way back off. Of course, on the underside here, you are able to move this around pretty much wherever you want it. I just want mine to be straight and in the middle. So I'm gonna cinch these down. I don't think they were tightened up all the way, which is not really gonna move around, but better to be safe than sorry. So now we'll line this back up again. Make sure all of our cords are going the right direction. Now I've got it all wired up. I actually ran it through right here, came up right here, ran the power on that side. I'm still gonna tuck them in, and then ran the ground on that side. They are both connected, and I wanna make sure that it's gonna work. But first we need to go ahead and install the clutch lever, and then we'll make sure that it's working correctly. And before we dive in too deep, I've got to tell you guys about the new giveaway. Now, a lot of you have asked for another giveaway since we did the last one with Last Fit, and we actually gave away some light pods. And Last Fit actually reached back out and wanted to do another giveaway on the channel. Now, this time, instead of light pods, we're actually giving away an exact set of these floor mats. So, as many of you guys know, the floor mats I have here in the Jeep Rubicon 392 get abused literally every single day. And as you can tell, it usually looks like this most of the time. Luckily with Last Fit, they are laser cut and they're custom fit. So you don't have to worry about any of the mud or anything getting over the floor mats. It's got the lip to protect it all and keep it all in one place. And even for the back, they fit absolutely amazing. This is actually one piece here in the back, and it's got that tread pattern going all the way through it. Now, to get entered into this giveaway, it's extremely simple. We're only gonna run it for about 2 weeks, possibly 3. But to get entered, all you have to do is like the video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and comment down below Last Fit. That's LASFIT, Last Fit, and I'll put your name into the drawing. Perfect, it works. And now on to the next step. So now that we've got it all in place and we know it's gonna work, I've put these 2 bolts in here as little placeholders just to make sure this doesn't rock anymore. As we actually torque down these bolts on the inside, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loosen up the winch right now, move it around a little bit so I can get the wrench and socket in there to tighten it all up, and then we'll re-tighten these. And now we can tighten up the actual winch itself. Now back to our bumper over here. We use the rough country spacers on the outside bolts of the driver and the factory side of the bolts for the bumper. Then after that, you'll just pop out your trim pieces. And since my kit did not come with the trim piece that's going to replace this right here, and then you attach your fair lead on it, I do have a fair lead for it, and that should bolt up just fine. But without that trim piece there, it's going to look kind of weird. So I'm probably going to go ahead and cut this out. That way I can make it work. I'm not going to lie. That took me way longer than it should have, because I left these on the outside for literally like an hour and couldn't get it to work. I was about to drill through these, but I didn't. So if you want to reinstall them, maybe you can put them on back after, but I'm not worrying about those. But it probably took me 45 minutes more just because I didn't take those outside pieces off. So be sure to do that. And now I'm just going to torque all these down. Well, we've got it all tightened back up. And as you guys can see right here, I actually just ended up using that trim piece that already came with it from the factory, and I just cut it out. So I cut it out with the razor blade for here, and I drilled 2 holes right there, and it seems to be working just fine for what it is. Obviously, I'm not going to run this bumper forever, but it's great to see the full capabilities of these stock Rubicons and what you can really add to them. Now I need to plug this up, and then I'm going to add these bolts back in right here just to give it a little bit more of a clean look, and we'll almost be done. So if you do want to clean the look up, obviously you've got these bolts that came out from these holes right here, and you can reuse these little clips right here. You just have to push them out and get them out of their little holes right here for your extra trim piece that you don't need anymore. Now we got to add the hook. Take out the cotter pin. Then you just got to put your cotter pin back in. And now with this wireless remote, you just press the red button to turn it on, then you click in, and it'll start feeding it. And there it is. I've got to say that looks great, and the actual rod height on that winch is just about perfect. You don't disrupt any airflow the way that that sets with the rough country mount. And with the Openroad winch, it just fits perfectly. I'm very impressed so far by the fit and finish on this Openroad 13,000 pound wireless winch. I'm excited to test it out. And you can tell I'm using the Openroad Fairlead as well, since the rough country kit sent me the wrong thing. They sent me this instead of what I actually needed. So if any of you guys know what this is for or what it is used on, let me know, drop it down in the comments below, because I honestly can't figure it out. So now that we've got the winch fully installed and everything working properly, it is time to move on to the next item. So I'm actually going to reuse the stock fenders again, but I'm going to set them up with an entirely different configuration. But first, we got to get all these out. So this time I am going to do it a little bit different. I've done it before in the past on one of my old Rubicons. If any of you have looked at the Rubicon fenders hard enough, you'll notice they are a two-piece design. Now that two-piece basically is this piece up here, and then the black piece, which is also connected to your inner fender well liner. So essentially, I'm just going to take it off and just use this top piece, and it'll give you a little bit more clearance, but you do lose your inner fender well liner that way, so you have to get one that's aftermarket. Also, whenever you take these off, you'll see that there are some clips exposed, so we'll have to cut those off. And it makes it a little easier if you have a clean fender. Then you've got two pins on each side holding this little bracket assembly right here, which basically is the piece that holds all of this in. So you'll need to push in the pins right there. So funny. And then if you decide to do what I do, you'll just have to rip them apart. So it's basically glued on from that inner piece to the color match part. And then you've got your inner piece, and you've got your color match piece. And like I said, you've got these tabs, so we'll have to cut them off real quick. You can just go across these, kind of at an angle. Watch out. And they come off pretty easily with the razor blade. And this is the finished product. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some clips, slap it on, and of course you'll have to do the same thing for the opposite side. Then you'll just need to go ahead and put some of these clips in there. Now I did order a bunch of these on Amazon for 11 bucks. I think it was a 50 piece, so I wanna see if they still fit. So these don't work perfectly fine because in the inside right there, it's a circle instead of it being a straight line. And for these fenders, they need a straight line for it to work perfectly. So I may beat these in, or I may just run 4 clips on each side for now. Well, now the Jeep is definitely set up a little bit better to go off-road. I'm excited to take it out on its next trip, but as for right now, I'm definitely gonna have to clean this garage up. I picked up all the tools, now I need to get all the dirt out of here, and then I'm gonna go clean this thing up a little bit. If you guys haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see next. But until then, Godspeed.